Mute.
And we are live. Hello, hello. If you are joining us, give us a second to get in the chat and see who's here. If you're here, sound off and say hello.
Isn't this working?
Uh-oh, is it not working? I'm getting there.
If you're here, sound off.
Ah! Turn it down. Willow's here. Adriana's here. Yeah, so Adriana's here. We're doing Tack Chat. If you were expecting a crafting live stream, that was last week, and we'll do another one next week. But this is Tack Chat, and I'm Michelle.
And I'm Adriana.
And if you're new to the live stream, the Tack Chat is where we drink our wine, and we clean our tack, and we chat about the topic of the day, because cleaning tack is, well, some people like cleaning tack. I think it's boring.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
I think it's boring. Anyway, I think cleaning tack is boring, so I'm going to drink while I clean. Actually, I'm cleaning my boots today. And we have normally on, what?
Sorry, go on. Look at this one first.
Normally on Tack Chat, we like to talk about like something funny. Like last time we did actors, like who can ride horses and who makes you cringe. Zadel's here. Hey, Zadel. Oh, hi, Lori. How are you? And Marvel. Oh, got to get ready for Hurricane, too. You're in North Carolina. Yes, we've got kind of a serious topic tonight, y'all, unfortunately. Normally, we like to cut up and do things, and we'll probably still joke around and whatnot. Do you have your water? Do you want a splash of this?
I'm gonna.
Did you get water?
No, I didn't get. No, that's fine. I'll just take a splash of wine. Splash.
Adriana's been drinking heavily for days. Here.
Okay, y'all. I went on a cruise with the rugby team to the Bahamas. Sounds rough, I know.
Bless her heart.
But we played rugby down there, and we had to drink all the boat drinks because it was unlimited. And you know, I
you gotta go. But you're like,
I'm doing a hard reset on my body.
Rehydrate.
I need to rehydrate. So I'm
rehydrate.
Mostly just drinking in spirit.
Right, so I've got our typical oak leaf here. I'm going to get my boots on in just a second, but if you are in the path of the hurricane, if you're joining us, maybe you're getting ready to evacuate, maybe you're getting ready to hunker down. I've got links to share. We've got things we're going to talk about while we're doing our boots, so I'm going to try to keep up with the chat. Let's see. So where is... I was going to see, was that Marvel? Yes, Marvel was saying she's in North Carolina. And are you evacuating, Marvel, or do you have someplace safe to be? Oh, Zadel got the job at the riding stable and got to ride the Belgian. Oh, get it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. First of all, let me get my boots to clean off, and I will share. Do we want to talk about the hurricanes we've been through here? Like Matthew and Irma last year. Irma became like a storm before it, right? I mean, just like a tropical storm when it finally hit us. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I kind of blacked out most of last year after Hurricane Matthew.
Because they got really, you know, I guess preemptive with their evacuation orders for Irma.
Yes.
Because they were so like on top of it because they didn't want another Matthew. So...
For those who don't know, 2 years ago, Hurricane Matthew hit Savannah really, really hard. I had pine trees smashed into my house. Half my house got totally smashed. I lost Liam and I lost most of our stuff. And we ended up being displaced from our house for about a year while it was totally repaired. And now we're back in it. But so and we did not evacuate for that, really. We weren't in the house when the trees came down. We went to my mom's house a little bit further inland, but we did not evacuate the horses. They stayed here during that, which was like tropical storm category 1 level. So that's my hurricane experience that I'll be drawing from to talk about tonight during the hurricane prep. A lot of trees down during that one. So then last year was Irma, and that was flooding. Like it didn't hit us as a hurricane, but that was like flooding worse than Matthew. And also my horses also stayed here through that. We didn't evacuate for that one either. So I have experience with preparing horses for hunkering. Hang on.
Oh no.
There we go. Finally got a hole in the area.
After the cat pee.
I know, after all I've been through. Oh, it's like totally exploding right now.
Oh, no.
Welcome to the Tack Chat, where I totally exploded my area palette foods. I'm so sad. And I'm not even paying attention to the chat right now. So, Mike Perry, be safe. Americans, brothers. Thank you, Mike. That's very nice. Yeah, this storm is really, really huge. We're in Savannah, where we're doing this live stream right now. So, at first it looked like the storm might come here. It's not coming to Savannah. So, anybody who's worried about us and our horses, don't worry about us. This is not who we're worried about today. This storm is going to hit North and South Carolina. My Aunt Jean lives on the North and South Carolina border, like in Horry County, right where it's going to hit really bad. So she's moved inland. But we have lots of friends and family who are in the path of the storm. And so what we're doing tonight is kind of sharing ways to help people who need to get their horses out.
Yeah, my friend, I've got actually an evacuee at my house right now.
Yes?
Air's cousins.
Aww.
Yeah. I mean, not real cousins, but like adopted cousins.
Yeah.
My friend who lives in Charleston decided to come
I think
evacuate
Charleston
to
is going to be okay. Like Charleston and parts south of South Carolina are going to be okay. So, I know Kelly, one of our subscribers on the channel here, one of our friends, Kelly, is in North Carolina, and I think she is having to move. She and her wife are having to move their horses and some of their other animals further inland. So I hope if she doesn't check into the chat, I'm assuming it's because she's taking care of her business.
Yeah.
And I've been like glued to her Facebook looking for updates. So, and it's supposed to hit, for those of you wondering, it's supposed to make landfall, I think, late Thursday night, late Thursday, early Friday.
Yeah.
So you've got time. Of course, I imagine with evacuations, the traffic situation is probably ugly right now.
Yeah. Like last year when they did the mandatory evacuation for certain zones in Savannah, then like pushed back and they were like, well, just kidding. I was already gone by then.
Yeah.
When they pushed back, I was like, nope, I'm not dealing with this again.
Yeah.
You know, I've got too many trees
That's
in my
what
yard.
everybody did last year. Like, we were so freaked out after Matthew. And y'all got to understand, I've lived in Savannah for 20 years, and you've lived here about that long, too, a little bit longer.
17, yeah.
Yes. The hurricanes have not been a thing in that time. They just don't hit here. They don't hit here. The one time we had a scare was Hurricane Floyd, and everybody panicked, and it never even hit.
That hit Maryland. Yeah, we were bailing water out of the basement.
Yes. And then, and that was that.
Hugo was, I think, the last one before Matthew, right?
Yeah, and that
Hugo
didn't even come here either. So they don't come here. So when Hurricane Matthew hit, all of Savannah was like, whatever, it's not coming. And then, holy moly,
it did.
It was insane. I should post the pictures of like my house with the trees through them. These giant, beautiful pine trees. Aw.
That was, I was in Orlando and we still weren't positive it was coming, and Josh was at home with Air, and when they were like, yeah, we're closing Disney World, I was like, I'm going to go home now.
Yeah, when they're closing Disney World, it's real.
So I start driving home, my big old van that I had.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was rough. It was, I probably shouldn't have been driving in it, but I didn't, I didn't have to be separated from my dog. Didn't care about the boyfriend at the time. Like, I was like, okay, if I,
Dogs are more important than boyfriends.
Josh has got a choice. Air does not.
Aw.
So.
Well. I got to get my other boot washed. So we have a little bit of experience. Now, on the Unicorn and Centaur Facebook page, if you're watching this on the playback, or even if you're watching this live and you're looking for resources on how to get your horses out of North Carolina or out of South Carolina, you can go to Facebook, to the Unicorn and Centaur Facebook page, and I have posted a bunch of links. One of them is a website. I've got it here. Hang on, where is it? The National Equine Evacuation Directory. And it's a website where you can go, and if you have a trailer and you want to help people get their horses out, you can register your trailer there at that website. And if you need help getting your horses out, you need a trailer, you can register there. So it's a website that helps connect people who have trailers and who don't to get you transportation for your horses. Yes. So if you need that, you can go and register there. And then there's a couple of Facebook groups Number one, the biggest one looks like it's, they call it the Fleet of Angels. Have you heard of that? It's East Coast Equine Evacuation and Assistance, and that is a Facebook group. Again, I've linked to the group on the Unicorn and Centaur Facebook page, so you can go check that out. And I don't know if those are like volunteers. That may be a volunteer network.
Yeah.
But that's all up and down the East Coast. And then there's another Facebook group, the Georgia Equine Evacuation Locations. So I've been watching that page. That's for Georgia. And then like last week, all the posts in that group were about, oh my God, where can I take my horses? And then as we saw the path of the storm shift northward, all the posts changed to, okay, never mind my last post. I have 3 stalls available.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in South Carolina evacuating to Georgia, you may want to check out that Georgia page, Georgia Equine Evacuation Locations. And then the last page that I have linked on the Unicorn and Centaur page is a page called Enki Research. Is that Enki or Enki? ENKI Research. You can look that up. That's my favorite information for hurricane and storm, accurate information without sensationalism. Sensationalism. If you look at the weather on the news, even on the Weather Channel, they're farming for clicks and likes and page views, and they're trying to get you to click on stuff. So they use headlines and graphics and things that are going to draw you in and make you click. But this is Enki Research is a governmental or non-governmental organization that does research on storms, based in Savannah.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically just what you need to know. And if you don't need to panic, he'll tell you don't panic. And if you do need to panic, he'll be like, okay, you should probably like leave down. And it was very helpful for us when we went through, I followed that page during Hurricane Matthew, and to have like someone calm, a calm grown up in the room, giving me accurate information was like really nice.
Yeah, because all the Weather Channel, the TV people, they were like, just get out. And if you haven't gotten out, you're stupid. You know, you need to be gone. And they weren't being helpful because, I mean, you know, I weathered Matthew we were 60 feet above sea level in the house we were in. And, you know, fortunately our place was fine. We had some of the backyard, like some of the fence came down, but no flooding or anything on our street.
Willow says, how are my favorite equestrians? I hope you're talking to us. If you are, then we're doing all right. Especially now that the storm isn't coming here. I'm just sick about how big it is and how it's going to hit my Aunt Jean's house. All right. Oh, it says lag. I hope we're not lagging too much. Oh, goodness, because I don't know what to do about it. I really want to get like software to download and have a different setup where we can have like graphics and stuff. Because then I could like type in the websites and stuff. Yes, and put links and everything. So my favorite, I don't know. My favorite season is any season that I can wear tank tops and flip flops. If I have to wear shoes and socks or a sweater, I'm angry. We're approaching angry season for me.
Oh, okay.
I know. So many people can't relate.
I've turned into a basic white girl.
Oh no!
I love sweaters and pumpkin spice lattes and scarves.
That's fine. I like to live in. I like clothing optional weather. Not that I'm gonna take off my clothes or anything. I just like that kind of weather.
I understand that, but I also like layers, and I like cute boots and my spirit hood, which I cannot wear in the summertime down here.
The spirit. Oh yes.
I need to clean my spirit hood.
All right, I need to oil my boots before we get on to actually.
Willow's cipher is a winter centaur. Winter. Winter. Servitor.
That's a deer.
Oh. Okay.
Deer centaur. But it's blowing off. Oh, I need new boots. I tried so hard to reach out to Ariat when my cat peed on my boots. I need to do it again and be like, okay, I saved them from cat pee, but I can't save them from the ravages of time.
How long have you had those?
Since Hurricane Matthew.
Oh.
These were my replacement boots because the others were lost in the hurricane. So, okay.
That's a good run.
It's not bad. Yeah.
I mean, for wearing them every day.
I do. I wear them every single day. So I guess this is like, you know, I don't know, getting close to like, what, 700 wearings? We'll say 600. So I need to oil that. So those are the websites. Also, if you want, just go like our Facebook page, follow Unicorn and Centaur on Instagram. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You probably are already subscribed, but if you're not, then do that.
Yes, true.
So that we don't judge you. We were talking about grown-ups in the room giving information just a few minutes ago, and I wanted to say this is not like in preparation for the storm, but afterwards, wherever you are afterwards, if you're in a place that has lost power, local radio stations. When nothing had power for a couple days after Hurricane Matthew, but the radio stations could still broadcast, and you could, if you had gas in your car, you could listen to the radio in your car or on your phone.
Yeah.
And the local radio stations were wonderful. They like all were on the same.
Oh wow.
They were all broadcasting the same thing, and they were just telling you where you could get gas, where you could get water, which places had electricity.
Yeah,
It was just wonderful. I just loved it.
Yeah, we were only without power for 2 days, I think. I mean, there were, we were right on the other side of, like, any further down, was Coffee Bluff, like where the big fancy mansions down Coffee Bluff are. So they wanted to get power down there back. So
let's talk about, though, if you are evacuating, if you're one of our people in the North Carolina or South Carolina or even Virginia area and you are getting out, what do you need to take with you? First of all, I hope you have an equine first aid kit with basic things like vet wrap and Banamine and Butte.
And lid ointments.
Right, your triple antibiotic ointment or whatever.
Yeah, just kind of basic stuff.
Gauze pads, iodine, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff for wounds, because you never know who's going to cut something open in the trailer.
Yeah. When I was boarding up at Silverthorne, Silverthorne was around here, we had start of hurricane season. She did a monthly newsletter that came out with her, board bills.
Right.
And at the start of hurricane season, we got everything together. She shared the evacuation plan. She had binders. Like, it had, I guess, a folder for each horse. And it would have...
Oh, yeah, Coggins. And you need to have their paperwork.
Their Coggins, their paperwork, their...
proof of vaccinations.
Proof of vaccinations, proof of ownership. Like, pictures with pictures of the horse
depending
from the front,
on
side,
where you go. Sometimes you can like make a deal with somebody who'll let you throw their horses in your backyard if you're making a deal on Facebook. But if you're taking official transportation, a lot of times you've got to have all your paperwork. And that's something a lot of people don't think of. Thank you for bringing that up.
And
Taylor's here. Taylor says hi. Hey, Taylor.
Pictures of a lot of things people don't think of. Pictures of you with a horse. So if the horse gets loose, if they're in an unfamiliar field, if something goes down. And this is whether they're staying or they're going. Pictures of you, which, I mean, you don't have a problem with that. These are my YouTube videos.
Yes, I have pictures of me with my horses, definitely. Well, that's the thing. Let's talk about, sorry, go ahead, finish.
But we also did little plastic baggies, and I did this at Norwood, too.
Yeah.
And it had the horse's name, the owner, and the barn owner's phone number. And I think the vet's name and phone number as well. And we put them in plastic baggies and duct taped them to the halters.
Do you know what I did last year for Irma when we had Irma? So, okay, we're going to talk about what you need to do to identify your horse when the hurricane comes. But one of the ways that you can do this is to braid things into their manes. And for Matthew, I just braided a cow, a cow tag that had a phone number on it. And just phone numbers. That's all I did for Hurricane Matthew. But for Irma, I wrote a note for Artax and Weasley that said, dear person or who finds me, my name is Artax. Thank you for helping me. My person is probably really sad and looking for me. Like, I wrote this whole note about Artax and how he needs to get back to his people. And then I put it in a Ziploc baggie and I rolled it up and I braided it into his mane. And I had a note for Weasley, too. After we got back, Weasley had, like, rubbed his out or something. Of course he had. It was, like, done. It was, like, whatever. If I didn't, he was not coming back. But Artax's was still braided into his mane. And we'll talk about how to identify horses. But I thought about that, like, if we evacuated, because we thought about evacuating for Irma briefly. But if you evacuate, I think I still would want to, like, spray paint my phone number all over my horse. Oh, my God.
You know, or if they've got like white hooves, or even you could do like light nail polish on dark hooves, or
what I did was like Sharpie will come off.
Yeah.
People are like, Sharpie, it's permanent. No. I did Sharpie on the light colored hooves and then covered it with clear nail polish. And that stayed on a good long time. So this is how you want to identify your horse. You don't necessarily, I know people who have left halters on, like breakaway halters. I probably wouldn't. I have not left them with halters on. So I braided into their manes a plastic tag that I had written my phone number on. And I had spray painted for both hurricanes. I know some people don't think spray paint is good because it can irritate their skin. It hasn't with my horses, but I understand that that's a thing. But on each side of their bodies, like all across their bodies. And if you go back to last year on my Instagram, you can see these pictures where I spray painted the phone number on each side of the horse's body. And that is like, if you lose power and the electric fences go down, or a tree goes down on a fence and suddenly the horses aren't confined in their paddocks anymore and they break free. Or if you're in an area, like I know in Texas, in Houston for Harvey, people let their horses like go free. They let them out of the paddocks and let them go.
Oh yeah, so they have a place to run.
Yeah, so they can go run and find higher ground.
Yeah.
But you have to have identification on them so that when the storm is all over, people can find you again. So I did the hooves and I did the spray painting on their bodies and I braided things in their manes. And even then, like you do several different things, because by the end of it, by the time I ended up getting back to the property and getting back to my horses, like part of the phone number would be rubbed off here or there. The idea is if you put 10 phone numbers on them, they'll be able to find at least the digits throughout all over the horses. Fortunately, that never happened. I never had to have anyone call me and be like, there's a horse who says his name is Artax.
Well, do you remember that Kira got so much flack for that? Because she spray painted the number on her horse, and people took a picture of them back in her yard, I guess.
People are crazy.
And, which it's hard. Have you been to her place?
She takes such good care of her horses, though. It blows me away that someone would be like, look at this. This horse is being abused.
Exactly.
Like,
and
what?
Willow.
Willow, that big old horse. Yes, Willow, who's in the chat, we know a big old, beautiful chestnut horse named Willow.
No.
All right, I need to oil this thing. Do I have an oil rag up here? Did I do that? No, I did not. But I do need more wine. Okay, so other ways of identifying your horse or identifying like a phone number or other kinds of...
I'll open the next one for you if you get there.
Yes. You know what? We need like a different thumbnail though, but if it's like hurricane prep, like we can't be like... That's kind of... I don't know. We'll figure it out. But this is scary. If you are in the path of the hurricane and you are scared, I just want to say I understand. I've been there. I know what it's like. I haven't been through evacuation, but I have been through hunkering down a storm with my horses, and it is terrifying.
And that's another thing. If you evacuate the horses, you have to decide early, because you don't want to be stuck in that evacuation traffic.
Oh,
with a trailer full of horses.
Trailer full of horses, no. Exactly. Well, you know what? Now, what kind of apps do people have? I know my brother-in-law recommends the Wave app. Do you know that one? Wave, I think it's Waze. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's the
Waze will tell you.
Waze is one my brother-in-law recommends. Mm-hmm. Shout out Rick.
Waze will tell you if there's some sort of road blockage, if there's something in the road, if there are police, what the fastest way, if there's traffic, okay, this is still the fastest route, but there is going to be traffic. It's pretty great. It'll tell you if there are potholes in the road.
Nice.
And it relies on people as well to report things.
Okay.
And people do.
Right.
So,
you know what though, honestly, modern technology and social media was so wonderful for us going through Matthew. It kept us connected. Yeah. By the way, if you are in the path of the hurricane, have a car phone charger. More than one, please, because we didn't have that. We didn't have a car charger. I never have my phone charging in my car. I'm not that person. I never needed that. I charge it at home and then I take it with me. So after Matthew, we didn't have any way to charge the phone. And one of my moms, like someone who knew my mom, we were in Hinesville. My mom grew up there. And so like a lady that had gone to high school with my mom brought over a car phone charger for us that she found somewhere. And so we were able to charge our phone. And oh my gosh, thank you, Nancy. Oh, Marvel, gotta go see ya. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Marvel, for being here. And I hope that you get some sleep, and I hope that you are safe from the storm. She's got flooding in her area, and she's going to be hunkering down in the storm. I just want to say, Marvel, I don't know if you'll see this at all, but don't watch the news constantly or watch the Weather Channel constantly, because those kind of things can stress you out. Just find some things to do, take care of yourself, stay calm, stay hydrated, and I will be checking in on you on your YouTube channel and on your Instagram to see if you're okay. So, all right, what are we doing now?
Willow is leaving as well.
I want to talk about what my vet has said about evacuations. Now, this is, again, okay, I don't want to say that my vet is against evacuation.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak for him necessarily, because this is a conversation I had 2 years ago with him.
Yeah.
But he was saying that he sees more injuries and illnesses from evacuated horses than he does from horses that have stayed and hunkered down a storm. So his opinion is, if you're in an area that's not going to flood severely, and if it's going to be a tropical storm or like a Cat 1, I mean, he's not suggesting you leave horses in a Cat 5, but if it's going to be tropical storm, he's one of those, just turn him loose and let him sort it out. I forget which hurricane it was, but he said he saw one horse that had been that had stayed to hunker down, and it was a horse that had gotten caught up in some wire from a fence. But there were just dozens of horses, colics from being on the road, and injuries of all kinds from the evacuations. And I'm not trying to scare people against evacuating, because if you are in the path of a Cat 4 storm, get out. But if you're on the outskirts of where the action is, so to speak, and you have outdoor area for your horses to roam in, talk to your vet. Don't take my advice. Don't be like, well, the lady on YouTube was like, please let your horses go. No, what I'm saying is talk to your vet. If you're watching this and you are maybe in southern South Carolina or in one of the areas, like just north of Charleston or something, and you're not sure what to do, call or text or email your vet and ask what their recommendations are. Because you might be surprised that they'll say, well, just, get your information on them and turn them loose. Or they might say, go to Savannah.
Yeah, there's a bar in the Old Iron Horse stables. I don't know what it is now, but they're offering, no charge for stalls.
I love when people do that. Now, no tea, no shade to people who have to charge for when people come and use their facilities. Because I've seen people charging like $25 a night for accommodations, which is pretty typical, I think, of this area. But God bless people who are being like, come hang out for free with your horses.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
I don't know. I would absolutely, if I had the area.
I wish I had my own place. I love the place that I keep my horses. I love Buck so much. The owner of the property that we're on, love the property owner so much. Love you, Buck, if you're watching. But I do dream about having my own place for my ponies, Yeah. And if I did, I absolutely would let hurricane people come. Absolutely, hurricane people could come down. And if this was my facility, I'd be like, y'all come on. And you know what? Reach out to Chimney Field Stables. Chimney Field Stables has a Facebook page on Facebook that you can go and like, and there's the phone number on there, so you can reach out to them if you have horses and you're coming to the area and you need your horses to be with my uniforms.
It's true.
Right? Okay, so vet recommendations. Speaking of vet recommendations, there is a Facebook group called Horse Vet Corner. You're in that group, aren't you?
I requested, but I don't think they've approved me yet.
What? They should. It's a fantastic group. You can only comment on posts if you are a vet, if you are a veterinarian. It drives me crazy sometimes, but okay, fine. Because it's supposed to be a learning group. Yeah. Like you are supposed to be learning from veterinarians and getting a veterinarian's perspective. So you can't clutter it up with other people's like opinions or experiences, even though your experiences may be valid.
Yeah.
Fine, but we're here to learn from the vets. They posted some things about hurricane preparation. And so that might be something good to get from a vet's perspective. Excuse me while I drink some more wine. So there we go, hunkering down. Oh my gosh, was this my oil thing? Did I want to use mink oil or olive oil?
On your boots?
Yes.
I would use mink oil.
Even though they're like all busted open. My poor boots, y'all. All right, Kelly has not shown up in the chat tonight, which only mildly concerns me. Because I know she's getting ready for the hurricane. So Kelly, if you watch this later, I love you and I'm thinking about you and I'm worried about you. So are your people safe? Like you're up in Maryland and that's like a safe zone, isn't it?
Well, Hogan issued a state of emergency for Maryland.
Okay.
But it's because of the flooding right now.
Uh-huh.
Because Annapolis, I mean, the water was coming up over the city dock.
Flooding is a serious danger, by the way, y'all. If there is a flood warning, please get out. Yeah.
So, and my thoughts, you know, I've got a thing this weekend. I'm supposed to go down and camp on Friday night, down near Florida. It's like near St. Mary's, I guess.
Okay.
But I'm a little like, I don't know. I mean, I know that's completely the opposite part of the state, but I'm like, if the hurricane, if there's lots of bad weather, you know, I've got air up here with, or I'll have air up here with my friend.
Her dog, Air.
But it stresses me out a little bit. I don't like being away from her.
I know. Well, you know what? That was the hardest thing about both last year in the hurricane season, both Irma and with Matthew, were the few days. See, y'all, I don't have my horses at my own property at my house. I have them boarded. They're about 30 miles away. So it takes me about 40 minutes every day to drive out to my horses. And it's in another county. And there are just places where it floods. So after Matthew, there were so many trees down that the roads were not clear. I couldn't get out to my horses for over a week. After Irma, it was several days of the flooding before the floodwaters were down over the roads enough for me to get out there. And those couple of days, like, again, if you want, go back to last year in my Instagram with Irma and my Irma post. I think I took a selfie of me laying in my bed, like, and just waiting. And I got a text from Buck, from the property owner, who told me that my horses were fine. So I knew that they were okay. But before I knew they were okay, of course, I'm like picturing, like, you've seen, like, when horses have been exposed to floodwaters and their skin kind of falls off.
Yeah.
You've seen pictures of that? Right. So that's what's going in my mind. Like they were in floodwaters and their bloated corpses are like floating against fences or whatever. So this is what's in my mind. I know. So I'm laying in my bed torturing myself last year. And so thank you. Again, Buck, if you're watching, thank you for texting me and telling me my ponies were alive. But again, if you're not evacuating and you're hunkering down and your horses are somewhere else, I understand that feeling. There's going to be a day or two or even a week where you have to trust somebody else to tell you that your horses are okay, or you have to trust that they're wandering around and they know how to survive in the wild because they're horses. Oh my gosh, speaking of horses in the wild, I can't remember what group it in, but I can't remember what group it in. I can't remember what group it was in, but somebody was worrying about the Chincoteague ponies.
Oh, yeah, Chincoteague and Assateague.
Because they're not evacuating them.
No, they're wild horses. I mean, they're all on, I say all, They're on Asti Island. Because Chincoteague is...
Well, yes. They're Assateague ponies, but okay. But I read Misty of Chincoteague as a child, so they're Chincoteague ponies.
Hold up. Did you know? And if you didn't, I'm sorry for ruining your childhood.
What?
Misty of Chincoteague was not a true story. There was a real Misty, but it wasn't a true story. I was so upset. I found out last year. Last year about this time I went to Chincoteague.
Did I tell you that I wrote Marguerite Henry a fan letter in 4th grade?
No.
She was still alive.
I was going to say, when did she die?
I'm old, y'all. I'm like 46 years old. And when I was in 4th grade, it was one of our assignments was to write a fan letter to someone. And most people were like choosing, you know, actors and TV show people or whatever. And I picked this author, Marguerite Henry, who writes these horse books. And I wrote her a fan letter. And she sent me back. It was pretty much a form letter that had like everything all typed out. Yeah. But she wrote a handwritten personal note in the bottom because I asked her if she was going to continue writing, if she was going to keep writing stories, because I'd read most of her stuff. And she said, "Sure, I'm going to keep writing. Why stop?" And I'm like, "Oh." So I got a letter back from Marguerite Henry, who wrote Misty of Chincoteague. Y'all, there's chat going on. Hang on. Whoa. Oh, Taylor's working on the hoop skirt of her outfit because she was working on the corset last time. Bud's here. Hey, Bud, how are you? Oh, yeah, Bud said he shook his fist at it and it veered away from us, the hurricane.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bud. We appreciate your magical gifts. Oh, Bud says, I remember my visit to your temporary home. Not a great experience for you. Yeah, he came to visit us. Because after Hurricane Matthew, when our home was kind of destroyed by pine trees, they had to reframe the entire house and redo everything here. And so we had to live in temporary homes. One of my friends, Amber, again, if you're watching, love you, let us stay in her home. But because it was temporary, we didn't have furniture and it was just kind of sitting around in chairs. So it was wonderful to have a place to stay, but it was not like home for us. So it's nice to be back home, even though I still don't have furniture.
I still have a desk for you, like a drafting table.
Oh, Marvel says you guys are just where it would be storming. Marvel, I don't even know if we're going to get rain from this storm. There is one weird kooky model that predicts that the storm's going to do some weird bounce and then come back around to Savannah. Yeah. But we'll see, okay?
I feel like if it does that, it'll probably, it'll have already hit landfall and it'll stop.
Yeah, it'll be, like, heavy. Like, we'll get flooding and we'll hate life, but I don't think it's going to be, like, gross. You know, so no, don't worry about that. That's one reason I felt comfortable enough to do this live stream tonight, was because I didn't have to have the anxiety and panic attacks of it coming down on me. I can be the calm voice in the room telling someone else, hey, it's going to be all right. I've been through it. It's going to suck for a couple days, but you're going to be okay. And I'm here for you. All right. So yes, Taylor, overcast in Kentucky, says Zadel. You might even... In Kentucky, you might even still get rain from the storm. It's pretty crazy. Bud says, makes no sense that I had to water the courtyard this morning. Bud, the waves out at Tybee were epic the other day. If you get a chance to go out to the beach, do it. My friend Sandy and I went out to the beach, and the waves are incredible out there because of the storms off in the Atlantic. It was crazy. I have a skinned knee from the sand. And look, and can we talk about my hair was like dark blue until I went to the beach, and now look at it. It was like this dark navy blue. And I was like, what happened to my hair? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's 11:09. It's a little early for me to be wondering what time it is, but look at me wondering what time it is. I feel like, did I finish that bottle of water? Do you need water?
No, you're going to leave me. No.
You can get up and get the water, and then you can leave me.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Adriana hates it when I leave her.
I do.
Okay.
I do. It's very rude.
Oh, for hunkering down, I'm referring to my notes. For hunkering down, I wanted to talk about what happened with the carriage companies here in Savannah, in case anyone is interested. During the hurricanes, during Hurricane Matthew, one of the carriage companies evacuated all their horses to a farm in North Carolina.
That was last year.
That was last year. Okay.
Matthew stayed, but
Well, the flooding was worse with Irma, so.
Yeah, we were, I mean, she was on site.
Yeah.
With the horses. I mean, she was staying in the barn.
So a lot of people don't think about this. Like those carriage horses live in town. They got to go somewhere.
Yeah, and, you know, because I offered to go down and feed them for her, and she's like, no, I'm here. Like,
yeah.
She was in town for that. So
the two largest carriage companies, Adriana works for Carriage Tours of Savannah. Scott works for Historic Savannah Carriage Tours, and I used to work for them. But they are in a big concrete square building. So's Carriage Tours, really. They're these big
old warehouses.
They are. They're old car garages and warehouses made out of cinder blocks, and they're up on. They're not in a flood area of town. So, I mean, I think it would take an act of God to knock those buildings down.
Yeah. Now, Carriage Tours has flooded, and it wasn't even during a hurricane.
It's a little bit lower than Historic is, though. Historic's up over the tracks on the other side, and then built up even higher.
But there's that storm drain, like, right at the end of the driveway, or right across from the gate.
Okay. And
it was one night that it was an ugly, ugly storm. Like, we were getting dumped on.
Yeah.
I mean, Colin drove home through, like, he said the water was, like, brushing Kevin's belly. Like, and Kevin was 17-something hands.
Oh, my goodness, sweet point.
And it was just...
Excuse me as I, like, pick my nose with my oil rag.
Flooded, and the storm drain backed up. So it starts flooding into the barn. And we're in the office just picking up all the electronics. Like,
right.
And there's nothing we can do about the stalls.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
Did you let the horses out, or were they still in their stalls?
They were in their stalls. But we can't.
There's nowhere really to let them out. We're in the city. The carriage horses are in the city. This is not like you can let them out in the fields. There's no fields.
We have fields.
But they're like little paddock. There's that area, that property right behind you guys. You know what I'm talking about? That's owned by the city. I wonder if you could have let them out. You know what
that was all Hitch Village back then. It was all housing. Because Arcadia was in the field. And it was a big field, like one huge field at that point. But we couldn't let all the horses, you know, all 18 horses out into the field with her. You know, that would have been some dead horses or some injured horses.
That is, by the way, that is a common practice down here, is to let your horses just go and be out in the storm. Because we were talking about the Chincoteague and the Assateague horses. If you don't know, there are barrier islands off the coast of Virginia, is it? Or is it North Carolina?
No, it's Virginia. Half of Assateague is in Virginia, half of Assateague is in Maryland.
Okay.
And I think Chincoteague is all in Virginia, I believe.
Okay, so it's Virginia. But people were worried about the wild horses that were on there. And I mean, like, wild animals all up and down the coast are going to have to deal with this hurricane. And the wild horses are not going to be evacuated, as from what I've been reading online. And horses will tend to clump together and turn their butts to the wind. And they can hear the sound of a tree cracking before we can. Yeah. And have you seen videos of horses? Like, I saw a video of a tree crashing into a barn, and the donkeys and the horses that were in the barn, their heads go up, and they took off just seconds before it happened.
Oh, wow. It
was crazy to watch how they heard it happening and then just got out of the way. Oh, Taylor wants to know, where's your barn at, Adriana?
The carriage barn is in Savannah.
Yeah, Taylor, I don't know if you know, like down Wheaton Street, where the carriage barns are. If you go down Wheaton Street over the railroad tracks, on the left-hand side, first is the Carriage Tours of Savannah barn. Then you go over the railroad tracks. There's Historic Savannah Carriage Tours with Plantation Carriage Tours also there. And then a little bit further down the same road on the right-hand side is...
Off Harmon Street is
Madison.
Madison.
So all of the carriage horses are kept in this pretty much the same area. Like if you go down Liberty Street until it becomes Wheaton, after it becomes Wheaton, then that's where all the big babies live. So it's not, I mean, they're in pretty secure areas. All the working points. Yeah, she said, yes, I would hang out with Becca there a lot. Yes. Right. Because Taylor does pedicab. She's a yellow shirt pedicab in a tutu. She's blonde. She's cute. She's nice. We like her. You've got to go say hi. Taylor, when you're working downtown, go say hi to Adriana. She's in carriage stores, so they park in City Market. So go say hi and be like, what's up? Tack Chat in the house. I'm about to finish my wine, y'all. Oh, Lord.
Just let me know when you need me to open the other one on camera.
Right. Taylor says on very rare occasions nowadays. I love me some Taylor. She was always like, we'd park up at the Hyatt, and she was one of those that, you know how when you love the horses and they're like magnets. And you just come over, and there's always those few people that work downtown that you see over and over again because they can't help come in and pet the big babies. That's Taylor. So yes, we love her, but she's not one of the ones that's obnoxious and does things that you hate. She like is respectful and wonderful. So anyway, sorry. Right, we're doing a live stream, so we were just sitting here gossiping about Taylor on camera. All right, let me get to my boots again. So what did we cover? We covered my vet's advice. I was hoping Kelly or Rebecca would show up in the chat to maybe discuss their vet's advice. Of course, Rebecca lives in like Wisconsin or Michigan. I can't remember. They're both Yankee states to me. Like Wisconsin and Michigan might as well be the same state to me.
They pretty much are. Minnesota.
If you're from the states, please don't hate me.
Cold and snowy and.
Because I'm sure they'll say like Georgia and Alabama are the same state, and I'll be like, well, you're
parts
not.
of it, yeah. Mississippi.
Right. Yes. So yeah, but I was hoping that we could get some more vet opinions. I would have invited Dr. Myron to the chat, but he's like, I'm never online. And I'm like, I believe you. You're busy. You have like a real life. I live online.
On the horrible horsemanship.
Yes, on my Facebook groups. Horrible horsemanship is one. They've been sharing, excuse me, in that group, they've been sharing hurricane resources, and it's been pretty cool. I really like that group. It's something else.
It's you know, I've almost left it a couple times.
It's not just an SHIT posting group.
Yeah.
Though, and I've learned a lot from it.
And because it would get just so crazy. And
well, every once in a while you'll get a thread where there's a bunch of doofuses on there that are not your regulars, that they're just drama queens on the thing. And I just leave those threads alone. Let the baby have his bottle. Whatever. But when there's really something going on, I'll get in there on it. Oh, Brittany's here. Hey, Brittany.
Oh, hi,
Brittany, I've been wanting to ask you, did the bitless bridle you tried, did that help her with her horse's esophagus issue?
I think she said they showed in it.
Yes, because I saw pictures and stuff from it. Brittany, I've been thinking about you. For those who are watching, Brittany's a riding friend of ours, and she's got a horse who was having a problem with his esophagus. And I think riding in a bitless bridle may have helped that problem. So, oh, she's salt and pepper. Acknowledge me now. That's what Taylor says. Salt. Aw. Well, Pepper, if you get Pepper to acknowledge you, that is serious. Pepper doesn't care about anybody. He's like, whatever. And you are...
Pepper might be my spirit animal.
He is. He's so over it. He'll do his job, but when you try to tell him what to do, he's like, okay, first of all, I've been doing this way longer.
Oh my God, it is me.
Yeah. He's like, no, we don't turn here. No, we don't stop here. Bless him. And it's not yay, it's you again. Like when you're talking you again. All right, let's go to work.
I drove Flynn the other day.
Okay.
Do you need more wine?
I think I do.
Right. And it was the same thing. He was trying to turn.
Zadel says hackamore. Yes, well, sometimes there is something called a hackamore, but there are others that are not hackamores. They're just called bitless bridles. There's a bunch of different ones. Catherine, who has done Tack Chat with me before, her horse Hamlin goes in a bitless bridle. It's got some really interesting... Are you using the little knifey thing?
Yeah, that makes it easier to...
But I like the corkscrew. It's
well, we're going to use the corkscrew, too.
You're making fun of me. Y'all. Marvel says, I hope Biltmore doesn't get damaged. It's a really old mansion. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, Brittany says, yeah, it works. It's a miracle. He's not coughing anymore now. Oh, but he has an abscess. Oh. That's the weather. It's been so wet and nasty here. Horses are getting, you know.
Right.
Are you doing that for me? I almost bought a white Zinfandel today. Pink wine.
Oh, that wasn't a good pop.
Aww,
It was a mediocre pop.
Were you trying to
Sorry.
make it a good one?
I was trying to make it a good pop.
All right, we've only got like, keep going. You need to keep going. I'm thirsty. Girl. All right, fine, that's fine. By the way, Adriana painted this wine glass. Cheval Noir Designs. CHEVAL Cheval Noir Designs on Instagram. And she will paint you.
And on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, it's on Facebook. So she will paint you some wine glasses with your horse on it. With your very own horse.
Or pint glasses, or shot glasses, or martini glasses, or whatever you want me to paint your horse on.
There you go. Pinky's out, everyone. Now, this is Whispering Hills. We normally do oak leaf because it's like, it's Walmart and it's $2.96. This was $3.46.
Yeah, maybe I need a little splash of
Whispering Hills Pinot Grigio. We are cheap wine ladies. Okay, here, there you go. Have yourself a
that.
splash.
I should have tried to stop at Trader Joe's and get some $3 chuck.
Zadel says, what is her Facebook page? Cheval Noir Designs. Cheval is the French word for horse. CHEVAL and then NOIR, Noir.
We'll type in.
Cheval. Yeah, she's going to put it in the chat. And follow her on Instagram too. Instagram and Facebook for her designs. So we have not had any hurricane people in the chat today, and I'm trying not to panic about that. Kelly, I hope you are okay. I hope all my people in North Carolina are either evacuating and keeping their horses safe, or they have someplace safe to hunker down. Not bad. It's not as chilled as it should be.
It tastes like...
Excuse me. It tastes like Walmart.
I was going to say it tastes like Catholic wine. I mean, usually I think they do red, but...
I don't know Catholic wine. I'm not Catholic. I was Presbyterian.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Britt says, miss you guys. She's watching our live chat, eating ice cream, and watching Once Upon a Time all at the same time.
Aw, I love you, Britt. She's so sweet.
What kind of ice cream are you eating? I really want some ice cream, but I gained 10 pounds this cruise.
Dude, I don't even want to talk. Like, I'm supposed to be losing weight, and I'm totally not. I'm not gaining weight. I'm just not losing weight. I'm supposed to be doing, like, another weight loss video for the channel, and I'm just not because I haven't lost anything. Don't judge me. How dare you? Oh, Marvel says, Adriana, can you teach me to paint?
I can try.
Marvel, she makes computer animations. I'm subscribed to her YouTube channel. And so she does these, I don't even know how she does it. It's pretty much witchcraft. I have no idea. But she does these little computer illustrations, which are pretty fun.
Oh, see, I'm not good with I could do some like graphic design computer stuff, but I'm much better with the hands-on touchy stuff.
Yes, and Brittany's having coffee flavor. So that's good.
Coffee is one of my favorites.
Coffee is good. Zadel said he found it, or she found it. He, she, Zadel, I'm sorry if I'm misgendering you. Because I know, like, their name on Facebook is Alex, which could be, you know, boy, girl, whatever. I was going to use the saddle soap on my boots, and I never did, y'all. Oh, and I was going to use this, but do I really need to use the glue for the soles if I already have the holes blown in them? Like, do we even care about the soles at this point?
Zadel is male.
Zadel is male. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I apologize. There's like... Oh, my gosh. Liam. My son Liam gets called a girl all the time because he has long hair. And he likes the color pink. So sometimes he'll be like in his pink riding tights with his long hair. And people would be like, is this your only dog? And we're like, aw. He doesn't get butthurt though.
That's good.
Yeah, no, he doesn't mind. Well, they're so cute. One day we were at Big Lots and the lady's like, something like, is this your only daughter or whatever? Sometimes we don't correct people. We just let it go, whatever. Sure. But if we're having like a longer conversation, I'll say, oh, well, actually, he's my son. I know, he's got long hair. So this one lady, like, she was so embarrassed that she had called him a girl. And Liam just was like, you know what? It's not like it's an insult to be called a girl. And the lady was like, bless you, honey. Like, yep, that's my boy. All right, I have so much dirt in these. I dare not, like, look at that. Should I glue it if it's all dirty?
I mean, I would, like, get the dirt out. I mean,
how do we get the dirt out? Come on. If I can get the dirt out. I'm a mess. She's making the I'm a mess face. All right.
Toothbrush?
That's getting a little, I don't know, that's a little involved, isn't it? To use a toothbrush to clean your boots when they're already like exploding?
Oh, well, okay. When they're already exploding, fine.
I don't know. I don't have the money for new Ariats. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Hear that, Ariat?
I know.
Something sponsorships.
I know. I need to figure that out. I need to get some sponsorships for my channel, y'all, because horses are expensive. We are just about done here. Have we talked about all the hurricane prep we want to do? Seriously, if you've just joined us, please go to Unicorn and Centaur's Facebook page. I'm going to go back through this to find a thumbnail a little bit later, and I'm going to do my best to timestamp all the information for anybody watching on playback so that we can have, like, oh, here we talk about that, you know, recommendations. Here we talk about evacuations. Here we talk about horses. So we'll see what I can do. Hopefully I'm not too drunk to do that.
You know what?
What?
Just gonna finish my Catholic one. Yes.
Brittany says, I barely clean my tall boots. Lately it's been lazy cleaning her saddle. Oh, I would send you new boots if I could. I know you would, Marvel. That's okay. I do have another pair of boots, but they're not as great for riding. Yeah. They're not as good for, like, serious work. Which I tried trotting Weasley today. I had a student today, so Sunny did the lesson today with our new Centaur student, and then I rode Weasley, and I tried to get him to trot. He has not worked a lot in the last 6 weeks. He's like been ridden at a walk a couple of times. So I tried to get him to trot today, and he was like, girl. He was over it. He was like, He was mad at me, making these faces. Every time I asked for the trot, those ears went back like. And he needs it. We both need the workout. God love us. Y'all.
Yeah.
Brittany says, you two should meet my horse one day. I want to meet Stormy Windstorm.
Yeah.
Brittany, I see your pictures on Facebook and on Instagram. I follow y'all. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I will follow you back, I promise. Zadel's off work tomorrow. Yay. What is a day off? I don't know. Is that a thing? Do you remember that?
I mean, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because I just had 4 days off.
Right. Brittany says, I miss writing Weasley. Weasley is such a little weirdo. He's so funny. Like, the new student fell in love with him, of course. Yeah. I don't know what. Weasley is such a salty, weird, complaining horse, for those of you who don't know. Like, he complains about everything. But for some reason, the new people love him. He's got them snowed. They think he's, like, sweet and amazing. So funny. But, like, you can tell when people start to know what they're doing because they're like, okay, he's kind of a jerk. Okay, see? I think when people are new, he's nicer to them.
Yeah.
I think when he gets familiar with people, like, I don't know, like, when he doesn't know someone, he kind of keeps you at arm's length and he's polite. It's like me, how I'm polite to people I don't know. But I'll be rude to people when I love them.
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm that person. Y'all, what time is it? It's 11:29. We gotta go. My boots are all cleaned and oiled.
My saddle is also oiled.
Oh, Marvel has her horseback riding lesson tomorrow. My teacher might have me try trotting for the first time if they're not canceled. Oh, I hope you still get to have your lesson. And if not, Whenever the storm blows over, Marvel, you will have your lesson, I promise. But that is so fun when you're learning how to trot.
Yeah.
She's got lessons, and it's the cutest thing. She posted a little video, a short video of her on the horse, and it was just so cute. I love it.
I had my lesson on Thursday, last
I
Thursday.
know. I'm trying not to be jealous of you.
It's going to be a little while because I've got a car payment that I need to pay instead of having a lesson this week.
Yeah, let's talk about when you're grown up and you don't have like parents to pay for your lessons. Oh.
But we just eat. He's so sweet.
The horse you ride?
Sam. Yeah, he's so sweet.
Unlike my horses.
Sam is... He's very confidence building because he, when you push the right buttons, he does the right things.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. It's very rare that you run across horses like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right,
Can
let
we
me
talk
check
about the look you just gave me?
Oh my I love you. No. I've been drinking. I have no idea what look I just gave her. Okay, we talked about NQ Research. If you're just joining us or if you're watching on the playback, we talked about NQ Research, ENKI, which they have a Facebook page and a blog, and that is accurate, up-to-date information about the storm and its severity and what areas are going to be impacted. Facebook groups, the Georgia Equine Evacuation locations. When I go back here in just a minute, I'm going to put all of this information in the description box below or in the comments, but you can also find it on our Unicorn and Centaur Facebook page. Also, East Coast Equine Evacuation and Assistance. They're also called the Fleet of Angels, and I believe that is a volunteer network. And then the website is the National Equine Evacuation Directory, and that's for you to register to either find transportation for your horses or to volunteer your services to help. So, and we talked about evacuation and the resources and what to bring, hunkering down, what to do with the horses, what the carriage companies have done. I feel like we've covered all our topics. Yeah. I want to thank everybody who has joined us tonight. If you are still watching this and if you are in the path of the storm, our thoughts are with you. I know exactly what it's like. We know what it's like to ride out the hurricanes. We know what it's like to evacuate ahead of them. We have been here. Drop a comment below if you need some support, if you need some words of encouragement, let us know. If you need some help with anything, evacuating your horses or what to pack, leave us a comment, and I will do my best to get back to you and to help you out with that. So, do you have anything else to add?
I can go. Just be safe.
I know. Yes, please be safe. I will be watching all of my subscribers. All of my subscribers here who are in the path of the storm, like Kelly and Marvel and all the others. I'm watching your Instagrams. I'm watching your Facebooks. I am keeping my eyes peeled, watching for you guys to update. So please use social media to keep me updated because I'm selfish and I want to know that you're okay. Okay. So from us at Unicorn and Centaur, let's see, anybody else in the chat? Jungle Zadel. Okay, we've got everybody in here. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us tonight. Again, if you have any comments, let us know below. Thank you for joining us, and I'm leaning forward to stop this and say goodnight to everyone. Good night.
Bye.